Hi, Arun.
Hey, Errol, how are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing great.
Very good. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight.
My pleasure. Hey, Rhonda.
Howdy. Hey, Errol.
Hello, Rhonda.
What's happening? Oh
How
my
are you?
gosh.
Allowing me
This
to be
is
here
like
tonight.
a screen full of my favorite people. Yay.
Hi, Arun.
Hello.
Francisco, how are you?
Really good, really good. How are you?
Great. You got a haircut recently.
Not really, actually. It's just like it's just like the background, probably. That's not
Oh,
helping.
yeah. It is. It's the background. Makes your hair look short.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yay.
Francisco, do you have plans for the holidays?
Oh, not particularly, like Arun. Like I'm gonna be a little bit with my family, not that much. No more, no more than that. No more than that. No more.
Errol, are you guys sticking around? Are you cooking?
Cooking, yes. We're going to age beef, and
Mhm.
we dry age that every year, and that's a big Arklage family tradition. My kids are going to be home, and all sorts of cool stuff.
Nice.
Amazing.
Can age
Decorate
the
cookies.
beef and get a new cow skull. It'll be exciting.
Age the beef and what?
Get
The
a new
new cow
cow
skull.
skull for your wall.
Yeah. Let me see if I can share that.
Yeah. Hey, there it is.
There it is.
Rock on.
It's decorated.
This is why I encourage Errol to put up a background so I don't have to look at that every time I talk to him. He creeps me out.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah. Hi, Rich.
Hello there. No dead animals in my room, I promise.
Yeah, Jen would not allow that.
Nope, no way.
Rich, I'm going to tell you the story about the skull another time. It's got a very rich, Arklage background story to
Very
it.
good.
But it's got to be at the right time.
Ian, yay. Hello.
Hey, good to see
Oh,
you.
I like your background. That's cool.
Sweet. Good to see you all.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for joining tonight.
Ian, you guys had a great day last week. Congratulations. It's quite a testament to the vision of your firm, and really great outcome with DoorDash. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Errol. It's definitely the founders that do the hard work and my team that partnered with them years ago. But yeah, thank you. It's kind of you.
Yeah. Those are like, firm making numbers right there.
Yeah, most of you know this, but another Berkeley connected IPO on Friday, I think it was for DMT. And this is out of David Schaefer's lab, stem cell related stuff that David Kern is working on. He's one of the people helping us with the biobusiness dual degree in undergrad, David Kern. Anyways, I think they were looking for 75 million and they got 200 million or something. I mean, it was just a stunning IPO.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Rich, do you have any plans for the holidays?
Well, we're gonna kind of try and decompress a bit, like everybody else, I hope. But how about you?
Just hanging out. Kids will be coming home, and we might spend some time with my in-laws in Oregon later in the towards the end of the month.
Nice.
We'll see how that. I read in the paper today that so many people are staying home and making it kind of a home celebration that Christmas trees are having Christmas tree farms are having a hard time keeping up with the demand for Christmas trees.
Mm.
I believe it.
Do we know what steps these actually are?
I can talk about. I don't think so.
No.
No, we don't. We will change the steps next time. We can do
Oh,
the
you
steps.
need not.
I love
we
them.
can,
It's a
we
great
can
visual.
we can put Mario's step here next time.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hello.
Hey, Caroline.
Hey, Rich. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi,
Hi, Brett. Hi, Brett.
Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, Justin.
Ooh, branding. Let me get some branding going. There we go.
Yeah, we're about to start.
nice.
All right, let's kick off. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is a super special night for us. So we're gonna start with a brief introduction of what is STEP for a couple of people that are in the call, fortunately, that are not that familiar with STEP. Then we're gonna go straight to the pitches. We're gonna have a 10-minute program acknowledgements, and at the same time, the judges are gonna go to a different breakout room to define the winners. And finally, we're gonna announce the winners and give the closing remarks. So now I wanna give a few minutes for Rich to take the stage. Rich.
Thank you, Santi, and thanks for all the organizers. Look, it's a thrill for me. I won't take too long. We want to hear from these remarkable teams, and congratulations from the teams, to the teams, rather. You've put so much work into it. Thanks to the advisors. You know, we couldn't do this without you. So many people putting their time into making these people and these teams that much sharper and better. And I know we have a lot of funders, obviously, in the audience here today as well. And we couldn't do it without without you either. Maybe just a couple of quick comments on the funding side. You know, if you haven't seen the recent graphic ecosystem of UC Berkeley's innovation and entrepreneurship framework, you should see it. It's up on the Begin website, Begin at Berkeley. It's up on the IPIRA at Berkeley website. In any event, it shows a pictorial representation of our ecosystem in 2000 and then 2005, 10, 15, 20. It's like, holy smokes, have we come a long way. And part of how we've come a long way is precisely the story of STEP, right? This was a group of students that are on the call here that saw a need. It's a startup story if ever there was one. What's the white space? How do we fill it? And they built STEP, and then continuing with that vision. And this connects to the funding, which is why I linked it to that, is that we're working hard on creating, they are working hard, and I'm doing my best to help, as are others, to create STEP Ventures. So as they describe it in their founding documents, this is category creating. So we have now 3 different so-called shared carry venture funds that are tied to deal flow that are coming out of Berkeley already. So the Berkeley Catalyst Fund focused mostly on chemistry, but not only on chemistry. There's the Berkeley Skydeck Fund and the Blue Bear Ventures Fund. Blue Bear Ventures focused mostly on Citrus Foundry. STEP has created its own deal flow in some sense, and the funding here really isn't competing with these other areas, as they describe it, sort of pre-angel, very early stage funding. And so we're still working on STEP Ventures to make sure to get it launched, but I just wanted to connect it to that larger storyline of ecosystem development. We've come a long way, and we're going to keep going. We still see headroom. We've got the Baker Bioingenuity Hub opening up this summer. We've got just so many pieces of this ecosystem, and we're not about to stop. So I just wanted to offer that to all of you. Some of you may not know this. I guess I should have mentioned it right up front. My job didn't exist as of 2019. My title, which is a mouthful, Chief Innovation and Entrepreneurship Officer. And basically my role is to try and knit this together so that it sums up to even more than it's already doing, and it's already doing a ton. And I and many other people who are on this call and who are not on this call are in that mission together. So I will stop there. Thanks again to the organizers. Congrats to the teams. This is going to be a great night. Go Bears.
Thanks, Rich. And thanks for kicking off the event. So I love starting this evening talking about asking this question: what does these companies have in common? Apple, eBay, Lime, SoftBank, Tesla. Well, they were all co-founded by UC Berkeley alumni. UC Berkeley is an undisputed leader in launching successful ventures. This university has 48 graduate and postdoc programs that are ranked top 10 globally. And we rank second place in terms of VC-backed startups. But STEP is right here to make us the first one. How? We're going to bring further more startups out of the labs, and PostX will enhance this. So what happened in the past 2 years? STEP has become the largest campus-wide incubation program at UC Berkeley in just only 2 years. And since inception, we have called ourselves a campus-wide organization. We run a 10-week incubation program that connects students from all the different schools at UC Berkeley. And the only reason why we can do this is because we collaborate and we partner with all other entrepreneurship associations in UC Berkeley. So far, around 300 co-founders have created 125 multidisciplinary teams that turn up in new startups. And as you can see, the split, the proportion of technical co-founders is growing further and further. So these startups, they gain an unparalleled set of opportunities. They meet co-founders that complement their skills. They have access to a unique set of resources, from in-kind perks to amazing advisory boards. And they gain a huge reputation. Why? Because STEP has grown so much in these past years that being part of STEP is actually a big brand. So just to give a couple of examples, we got some startups that had a clear path to success within 6 months or a year after inception. all these startups that you see in this screen have raised more than $3 million together, or they have been featured by top press or in top tier accelerators. And STEP is evolving fast. In our first batch in February 2019, we only had 3 teams that were deep tech startups. And in our current batch, there were 15. So STEP has partnered with PostX and is going to become a core part of the PostX accelerator to empower Berkeley to be the best institution for postdocs and graduates to launch from their research in the labs to game-changing ventures in the world. PostX is being sponsored by NSA and is becoming a reality only thanks to a huge partnerships that we have around campus. STEP has been partnering with Entrepreneurship at Berkeley has, led by Rhonda Schrader, by BSAP, Visiting Scholars and Postdoc Affairs, with BPAP, and with ICOS. So thank you for all of you that are here in the call and those that are not here in the call that also make this possible. So finally, there was one last piece on the puzzle that we saw that it was a need that was need to be filled, just as Rich was saying. We are creating STEP Ventures to offer our best startups access to initial capital and resources to build a POC or start gaining traction so they can raise their next round faster, or they can access a top tier accelerator such as Skydeck faster. What we're gonna do is augment the UC Berkeley startup ecosystem by creating a new stage of institutional investment at a pre-angel stage, just like is analogous to the emergence of pre-seed or seed as a bridge to A rounds. What we are doing is democratizing access for students to institutional investments so that entrepreneurship will no longer be something that is going to be exclusive to people from privileged backgrounds. What are we bringing to these startups, to these founders? A set of the right mindset culture, an ecosystem that they can leverage to become bigger, and self-sustainability. So we're going to be investing 25 to 50K tickets in this selected group of STEP startups. What is the value that we are bringing to the LPs? Well, first of all, an adequate risk compensation and uplift potential. Second, they're going to gain access early and by optionality to these startups. And last but not least, an unmatched due diligence of the STEP teams. So we are still accepting potential LPs. So if you know anyone that can be interested, do reach out. Our target capital raise is going to be $2 million, but if we raise 500K, that's going to be enough to start investing in the new set of change makers. Just as Rich said, we can operate as a small scale. We are just here to fill an empty space, and we are here to make the change makers become big ventures. And last but not least, we are the team, Francesco, Santi, Freira, and me. We are the team that builds STEP out of scratch, and we are the right team to make STEP Ventures a reality and change furthermore entrepreneurship at UC Berkeley. But most of all, we can do this because we rely on a stellar advisory board. There are passionate people about driving forward UC Berkeley's startup ecosystem. Rich here, Caroline, Bill Pierce, Errol, Kira Nudelman, and Rhonda Schrader. Thank you so much to the 6 of you. So, straight to the night, to the fun part. So, some general logistics about the event. So, each startup is going to pitch for 5 minutes. And after that pitch, it's going to be 3 minutes of Q&A that's going to be led by the judges that I'm going to be introducing soon enough. After the 10 startups finish pitching and receiving the Q&A, we're going to go into a small breakout room for around 10 minutes so the judges can agree on the top 3 startups. At the same time, Francesco is going to give in a couple of acknowledgements to a lot of more people that actually make STEP possible. And last but not least, there's going to be an audience award. We are sharing right now through the YouTube broadcast event a poll, so the public here can vote for their favorite startup. So support your favorite team in the poll. So tonight's judges, thank you so much to Errol, to Rhonda, to Caroline, to Ian, Atticus, and Jose that are in here in the call. Thank you so much for giving your time to judge the startups tonight. So these are the stars of the show. Volant AI, Znano Technologies, Fax, Hilbert, Luya, Travel Features, Shop for Dogs, Empath, Levitrek, and Dial Health. So startups, it's time for you to roll. Volant AI, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Please go ahead, share your screen and start your pitch.
Thank you so much, Santi. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen now. Can everyone see our slide deck? Cool.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. First of all, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for giving us this opportunity. We are Volant AI, and we are building the App Store of AI, where the apps on our App Store are actual AI and machine learning models that can be immediately used by anyone. There's no secret that we're living in the age of AI. People are engaging with AI and ML more than ever, whether it's through taking courses on platforms like Coursera or applying those skills that they learn on platforms, on the data science competition platforms like Kaggle, with more than 1.5 million active monthly users. Within the next 10 years, the projected AI software market is going to be more than $125 billion. But there's some problems with creating these models. The amount of time to actually ideate a model, whether it's looking at state-of-the-art papers or cutting-edge research, can be up to a month, if not more. The cost of actually training these models with GPUs or other sources of compute is unavoidable. Trusting some third-party generic API in the cloud from AWS or Azure is not cheap, especially for small and medium-sized business. The total time to develop and deploy a model from start to finish is at least 2 months, and if not more, and it may not even work well in practice. And the price point of someone who has this expertise is not cheap. And we can imagine in the Bay Area, this is going to be a lot more.
Yeah, and our solution is a marketplace. We want to crowdsource high-performing AI and ML models and differentiate ourselves with model selection as a service. So what that manifests as is if someone comes to our marketplace, finds 4, 5, 6 models that actually fit their use case, they can pick from those using our selection service at a fraction of the time, using our internal algorithm and IP. And so with us, what changes is the time and the money. The time to find, design, build, deploy these models drops down to 2 hours to a week if you're really picky. And the actual cost itself isn't the fraction. It's $100 to $500 instead of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so how it works is pretty simple. Sellers build models on premise in their cloud with their own tools. They bring it to our market where we vet it and list it. And then buyers come to us and look for the ones that actually fit their use case. And step 4, which is currently optional, but as we get more marketplace users and models, it becomes pretty required. Buyers choose the best of these models using our selection service.
So Tonebase is this really cool platform that's actually revolutionizing how music is being taught and learned. And they came to us with Glass recently. They wanted to create a live feedback mechanism for determining, for the users that is, for determining how well they're actually playing the music. So typically, when an AI consultant is helping Tonebase, the AI consultant would help Tonebase formulate what they need is an AI and ML problem. They would obtain the data, build the model and tune it themselves, and that would be time-wise and costly, and deliver them a model that may or may not even work well in practice, and they would still charge them a ton of money for it. So the time scale of this would be several months, if not more, and the cost of this would be several thousand. The way we help them is slightly different. So we make it a lot easier for them. We still have to help them formulate it as an AI and ML problem. At least initially we'll do that, and it is scalable at first, but down the line we want to give them the tools and education they need to do that themselves. And we also help them obtain the data. But for them, now they just put a request in our marketplace for the model. They pick one that works best for them, given from our sellers, and now they can own a model for a very affordable price. They save 90% of the cost in the model, and they save 75% of the time.
So if we look at the competitive landscape right now, because we crowdsource verification and the models, we can scale a lot faster. And because it's easier to use and adapt our product, we have a significantly easier time getting a hold of customers. So if we look at the competitors as well, some of the differentiators that we've noticed, and these features are like reputation systems, having task-driven creation, we have verification, little time to put into use, which is what we were talking about earlier with that minimal effort needed to actually be a customer at our marketplace. And then, of course, the big differentiator, model selection as a service using our algorithm and internal IP. So our team is uniquely poised to take advantage of the situation. The two of us have worked on software projects at companies like Amazon and Roche. And in and outside of our coursework, we are super interested in and passionate about AI, deep learning, and ML.
So to recap, we are creating the marketplace for AI and ML models. Our unfair advantage over our competitors is the model selection as a service driven by the algorithm that we've researched. We are focused on delivering high-performing models faster and cheaper than ever. And we are the team, not only because we have expertise building systems like this, and we're passionate about AI and ML, but because we are driven by an underlying mission, empowering people to build with AI. And we'd love for you to help us do that. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Judges?
Yeah, great. Thanks, guys. What have you built so far, and has anybody tested it out?
So we're currently in the process of actually building the platform itself. So we have some backend. We basically built the entire backend, and we integrate payments and the actual user experience. So we're trying to target that by end of February and actually put it in the hands of people, at least friends and family, who are familiar with using AI and ML.
Okay, follow-up question. Can you talk more about what exactly is different from you? There are a number of models as a service out there, marketplaces. Can you talk more specifically about how yours is different?
Sure. So the fundamental difference between us and a lot of the competitors out there is that we are focused on task-driven creation. So a lot of the competitors that we've noticed or that we've seen created these generic models that work for generic use cases. Or on the other end of the spectrum, they really dive in deep with the enterprise. What we do is we want to create a mechanism for any business to formulate what they need as a problem and be able to get a model that works for their use case specifically. And we believe we can do that.
Okay.
How do you incentivize the model creators to add their models to the marketplace? I assume it'll take them longer to get paid because the incremental value of each kind of sale is smaller than them just working directly.
Yeah, I can take that one actually. So what we've been looking at is, what is an alternative for them, right? Let's say I'm someone who's put a lot of time into a research paper. I've created this model. It may not be really easy to advertise it. If I want to be able to put it on like Amazon services or make it available through like what Salesforce used to have, their internal tool, it would take quite a bit of work to actually get something onto their marketplace, and for it to be able to be like competitive, it's way too significant for a single contributor to be able to do this by themselves. And so what we want to say is our incentive is that if you come to our site and you have a high performing model, you can sell it for $100 to hundreds of customers, and that sort of multiplication is what we're using as an incentive. Make it easier for single contributors to actually be able to make that to actually monetize their work.
Pricing, is it one-time pricing, like you basically, is it perpetual license per AI model?
Yeah, so we're it's gonna be a perpetual license for an AI model. We're exploring doing some sort of subscription based, but the business model that we're gonna follow is if let's say a seller puts a model on the marketplace for say $100, the listing would itself be $107 or $110. We'd be taking that 7 or 10% transaction. And every time anyone tries to actually buy that model, that license is basically associated with it, and that way we can protect the seller's rights.
Thank you, lads, very much. Next startup, GS Nanotech. Yeon.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. This is Jung Hong from JS Nanotechnologies. The problem we are indicating is 1 in 8 U.S. women will have a breast cancer in their lifetime. And this year, more than 400,000 U.S. women are diagnosed breast cancer. So breast cancer is the most common cancer with the skin cancer in the United States. And after the surgery, the patients are experiencing to worry about the possible transition and incomplete removal. And it's limited to have an access to get exam and imaging even. So the pain point start from their worry makes them more painful. So the solution we provide is a supplementary wearable imaging system. So it will reduce their worry and at the same time, cost saving and time saving and better monitoring. So product consists of a series of ultrasound and magnetic sensors with a very small size. And we mounted a series of sensors along the lymph node lines so that we can detect it. So the customer will be, we're gonna collaborate with a clothing company because one of the important factors for wearables is should be comfortable. They can wear for 24 hours. And then after the collaboration, we're gonna find the customers such as hospitals and insurance company. So yeah, right now the breast cancer is a quite safer cancer compared to other cancers. But in the middle-aged women, especially between 40 and 60 years old, the danger, the rate will be much higher. And also at the same time, AI for medical imaging and for the VR, AR, 3D imaging market boosting up. And so that's the chance for introduce wearable imaging sensor for specific cancer cells. So yeah, we're gonna generate the revenue from 2022 by securing 5,000 customers. Within 5 years, we will secure 250,000 customers. Revenue will be from 0.1 million within 5 years, 5 million we are expecting. So the competition in the medical device and medical imaging market is very high, as you know. So most of them are big companies, and they are focusing on 3D imaging and AI imaging to increase the proficiency and the imaging resolution and so on. But the penetration point for us is we introduce wearable and we have a series sensors. And also we can track the imaging for 24 hours whenever they wear. So yeah, that's the penetration point for us. And also we listed the key risk. So next year we are focusing on the finalizing the commercialization. So we finished the proof of concept and FDA process, and we secure the IP and FTO and so on. And also there are some space to reduce the price by refurbishing the sensors in the future. So the next year is most likely we will finalize the initial stage, and then we're gonna start to find out the investment because we will plan to generate revenue. So this technology needs a lot of R&D dedication. So yeah, we are from the small laboratory, and Dr. Lu is in charge of imaging processing, and I'm in charge of device and system engineering. And Dr. Lee is advised us as a breast oncologist. And also we have Ms. Lee as a business administration. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Yeo.
Okay.
Great. Do you have any data that this works?
Oh yeah, so yeah, we tested as the larger scale. So we compared with other technology, ultrasound, MRI, CT, and PT.
Can you blow up the slide? Can you make the slide bigger?
Yeah. So yeah, so these are the conventional technology, and this is our hybrid, but in the larger scale. So yeah, we are working on the scaling down, but the the thing is we will decrease the field of view as a nano size, not nano size is a centimeter level, and then to detect the cell development and so on.
Okay.
So who's your client here? Is this someone who already had breast cancer? Is it detection? Sort of, I didn't quite understand who you're going after here.
Oh yeah, so the main target will be the after the surgery. So we need to protect the second chance of breast cancer and also possible transition. So yeah, those are the customer.
And for how long they will be wearing this after the surgery?
Oh, they they can wear 24/7, but whenever they are worrying, they can wear and they can check the how the cell goes and how their body goes and so on. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily wear all the time. Yeah, they just want to wear and they can wear.
Can you summarize the technological breakthrough, and was it developed in which lab, and has there been a patent? Has it been secured? Can you talk about the IP?
Oh yeah. So the technology is from the our laboratory. So yeah, so we are from the VSPA Visiting Scholar and Postdoc Association. So yeah, the IP and those things are from our laboratory and our school, and then we'll transfer to the company.
From which school? HUST?
The Hwajung University of Science and Technology.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you describe to me the process of going through the FDA regulatory path, the cost and the time?
Oh yeah, so yeah, we are right now. Yeah, we are briefly so working on the FDA process. So yeah, it'll take around 2 years to pass the whole process as far as I know. But yeah, we didn't check the price and other things yet.
Have you talked to the FDA?
Oh yeah, we just briefly talk about it. It's just the email communication, but not specifically did it yet.
Yeo, thank you so much for your time. So next one, Fax, Josh, whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Antoine.
And we're Fax.
Straight facts, no printer.
So I'm the CEO and founder, and I handle both the business and technical side.
And I handle the marketing side as well as the business dev side.
Our mission is to build a community without the typical social obstacles, allowing people to connect with friends on a deeper level and form new relationships with others in a safe environment. And we do this through a cloud-based messaging application that connects users who want to chat anonymously through integration with popular social media platforms such as Snapchat. So anonymous messaging isn't a brand new concept, but there are a lot of problems with the current platforms on the market. First off, they force you to respond publicly in front of all your friends. Secondly, they require users to reveal their identity after just one message, which, let's be honest, just doesn't happen, and a possible friendship is lost. Lastly, they're all set up in this email inbox Q&A format that creates high friction for continuous messaging and is simply too slow and clunky. Let's take a closer look at YOLO, a company that launched in 2019 and quickly became a $100 million corporation. YOLO does a lot of things right. First off, they integrate it seamlessly with Snapchat, allowing their users to share a post with their friends with a single click. Second, they support a low-friction browser version that allows users to interact with their application without having to install it. Fax integrates all of these features and more. Fax is designed from the beginning to support chat threads in our native iOS application. We also integrate social media features like a profile page and best friends. We have a Discover page that curates targeted posts based on interests, gender, and geographic location. Fax users always get to know the gender of the person they're talking to, and most importantly, all Fax chats are private between the two people in the conversation.
And for our market research, we have found that 92% of current anonymous app users would rather use a Fax-style chat thread over a currently used inbox, single message inbox format. Additionally, we found that most Snapchat users actually interact with less than 15% of their contacts. 78% of those Snapchat users think that an anonymous conversation would be a great way to break the ice. Additionally, 80% of Snapchat users who we surveyed within our target demographics said that they would be using Fax if their friends were also on it.
And Facts actually has a fully working MVP that addresses all of these issues. On the left here, you can see our home screen with all of the chat threads. At the bottom, users can click on Get Messages to post this sticker on their Snapchat story that allows their friends to swipe up and send them anonymous messages. We also uniquely offer a link copying feature that allows our users to copy a link that they can then paste in their Instagram bio or anywhere else online to receive messages that way as well. On the right here, you can see our profile page that has the user's editable display name as well as all of their best friends on the Facts pyramid. On the left is our Discover page, where users can create a post anonymously or publicly. We also seamlessly integrate advertisements into our mosaic layout. Part of the beauty of Facts is that just by using our platform, users are sharing and advertising us to all of their friends. If just a small percentage of these friends download and use our application, we can achieve a ripple effect. And once we surpass a critical mass of 100,000 users, exponential growth is almost guaranteed.
And we have three main ways that we plan on monetizing our product. First, we can integrate ads into our Discover page using AdMob as well as Firebase. Secondly, there's the option to add in-app purchases to boost post visibility. Lastly, there's the option to implement a subscription model for premium features. And we plan on exposing our possible users through three different avenues of contact. First, we would use macro influencers that will increase our brand legitimacy and instantly reach thousands of users. Secondly, we will use ambassadors that will help create a new trend around Facts. Ambassadors tend to be older and be considered influential figures within their social circle. Lastly, we will recruit 4 to 6 high school champions from the largest 400 California high schools to promote our product. Those champions are real people who represent the target demographic and allow new users to interact with friends that they know in real life. Facts has been moving fast. We went from a concept to reality when our founder Josh started coding his idea to create a platform that would fix all the problem with anonymous messaging in early July 2020. Facts transitioned to a fully fledged startup as we began building a team and entered the StEP accelerator program at Berkeley in October 2020. Our development team completed the Facts MVP in November 2020, and our company started receiving its first reinvesting offer in December 2020. Facts plans to launch in January and will continue adding new features in the next coming months. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Is the primary use case to aggregate all your messages from various social media platforms and then enable anonymous messages on all of those platforms?
Yeah, so I would say that it's more of an additional service. We've seen that like these anonymous messaging platforms have been really successful in this space because people kind of feel like there's this like reputation or popularity blockade and for them reaching out to someone they don't know very well. And so kind of when we were going over YOLO, what YOLO did really well is they integrated with Snapchat's SDK, which allowed users to like share these posts through Snapchat. But they actually limited themselves to only Snapchat. We also offer that link copying feature that allows our users to copy a link that they can then paste in like an Instagram bio or like a Discord server, Reddit, anywhere online to receive messages in a lot of different ways. So they can kind of, it just gives them more options for receiving messages.
If I look at the Discover page, sorry, one more question. If I look at the Discover page, what are people posting on Facts?
Yeah, so so first off, I mean, your users can post anonymously and publicly. We kind of showcased a few examples on here. Like, you know what I mean? It's a chance to connect with people with your same interests. Kind of like as we've noticed that like there becomes this like a problem with people like not feeling comfortable sharing in public, and giving them the option to share like anonymously kind of it gives people that chance to open up. We integrate like image sharing, and you can share text as well. Yeah.
So you've built a prototype or a beta. You've had some people on the platform.
Yeah, so we have a fully working MVP. We're like in beta testing right now. We have a few users testing out our platform at the moment, and we're planning to launch in early January.
How many users? Just a few, handful.
So it's actually a closed beta right now. So it's just like friends and family. So we have maybe like 30. But we're gonna kind of expand that to more of like an open beta stage and then fully launch.
Okay.
Who will be your first 10,000 customers? Will it be high schoolers and then you'll go out from there?
So what we plan, we plan our users to be between 12 and 24. Most of our users being 12 to 18, 19. So most of those users are going to come from influencers. So mostly like TikTok influencers that are going to post on their Snapchat stories, TikToks, and Instagram. And most of the first users will probably be high schoolers because we're recruiting high school champions and middle schoolers.
Yeah, so we've kind of analyzed that just from our like whole go-to-market and launch strategy, we could have users in the range of about 200,000, which would already push us past that critical mass we need to like achieve the full exponential growth.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Josh and Antoine. So Xiao, it's up to you now.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm Xiao Wu. So today I'm very excited to present a project called Hilbert Matching. So this company is inspired by the mission to empower the intelligent matching for small business. So here is a problem. After 6 months customer interview with hundreds of small business and factories, we identify a huge market by matching the demand with supplier. So the small business on the demand side, they typically request frequent new arrivals, and they are eager to find the right factory with low price. And the small factories on the supply side, they are lack of the stable orders, and they want to solve 2 problems. One is to balance the peak and off season, and next is to reduce the stock. And to solve this critical problem, we propose a solution by designing a platform to recommend both sides to each other. So the customers, they can input what they want. For example, they need 1,000 t-shirts with logo to be delivered in 2 days. Then the platform can recommend the right factory to them. And these factories are able to deliver in time. So the key components of this platform are 2 things. The first is the Nobel Prize winning stable matching system. And the second is the AI algorithm for the intelligent learning and the recommendation. So by doing this AI and the stable matching, we can guarantee to have a precise recommendation, and then we can also learn what the factories are really good at. To make the platform trustworthy, we embed the credit system. The small business on the demand side can grow their credit by making the payments in time, and the suppliers can boost their credits by delivering the high quality products in time. So the product is easy to use, Uber-like app. So the customers just enter what they want, and they can review the recommendations. And the last is to place the order. So we choose to make the recommendation instead of let the customers do the searching themselves, because typically in these deals, the small business will have like hundreds of thousands, and they will be very cautious about such deal, and it will be very time consuming for them to explore and make the deal happen. Instead, we choose to recommendation by doing intelligent learning and explore from our platform point of view, and make the experience to be convenient and efficient for the customers. So we demonstrate the business value of our product by using the data from Taobao in 2019, and we compare with state-of-the-art matching algorithms, and we show 7% improvement. So this can be translated to $300 million by matching the children's clothing store with factories. And we can extrapolate this to all kinds of stores in Taobao and other e-commerce platforms. So this is $1 billion market. And the market size of this can go far beyond the e-commerce, including the small business export. For example, the small stores over the globe, they want to find the trustworthy factories in the Asia, and they can use the platform like ours. And it's also possible to do the service outsourcing like call center by matching the right personnel with the business. And the business model we are considering is do a commission fee, and it would be 0.5% for the transactions under $10,000, and we will double the commission fee for large for large transaction. So put the clothing business in Taobao alone, so the platform can make 1 billion.
Thank you, Xiao. Time's up.
Thank you.
Judges?
Is the credit facility maintained by you, or do you provide access to some bank for the transaction?
It will be maintained by the platform. We will trace every deal and the customer reviews.
So you're going to charge 0.5%, and you're going to provide credit to the purchasers, the small companies?
Yes. So the small companies, so the initial credit are all 100, and they can grow that. And so for the small business, if they have higher credit, they can make sure they have more personalized recommendation, and the factories can have more orders.
How does 0.5% compare to, say, MasterCard or Visa? So
the business model, so we now are considering the 0.5%. It's like based on the customer interviews we have conducted, and so they're happy to have this transaction fee basically.
Yeah. So 0.5% is about 4 times less, factor of 4 less than the typical credit card transaction. So just keep that in mind as you go forward, how much that finance cost you're bearing and what the risk of that is to your business model.
Yeah, I just want to clarify this, maybe a little bit different from like credit card, the systems. So we will just do a matching, and we will charge the commission fee from this business. So
I think just one word I want to add. So I think our main competitor is the traditional trading company. So we charge so for each deal that is successfully matched, we will charge 1% or 0.5% commission fee for those deals. And usually the traditional trading company, they charge for 2% to 5%. So that's our advantage in price.
Thank you both. Really good presentation. Can you tell us more about how you aggregate the verified data on quality, capacity, cost, etc.? So the attributes of the factories at a sufficient scale to inform an efficient recommendation engine from day one?
Right, excellent question. So we started to collect the supplier list about 3 months ago, and we have hundreds of the factories already collected. So including the government factories in China and in some countries in Asia. And we have a strict screening kind of list to make sure the factories follow, so can pass a screening standard to make sure that our recommendation is trustworthy.
And for instance, capacity of a factory is going to be changing constantly over time. So I imagine you need a live feed. How will you integrate with a factory system so you're not duplicating orders or staying on time?
Exactly. So we are developing an app, and so in the end, the factories can enter their capacities to the app in real time. So if they,
I would just think about incentives early on. So if you're only a small customer for that factory, they don't have a strong incentive to provide accurate information. It's only once you're a big part of their capacity they do. So I'm sure you thought about it, but it's just important.
Yeah, exactly. That's excellent point. So the factories are incentivized to enter the correct capacity. For the reason, if they enter less, they can only get less order. If they enter above their capacity, they will get orders they cannot deliver. They will reduce their credit. and will impact the future match.
Thank you so much, Shihahu, for your time.
Thank you very much.
So Tanya, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I will stop. Sure. Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Think of that one traditional family recipe. You know, the one that just brings you home. Have you ever attempted to make it and was it a colossal disaster? Well, we've been there too. My name is Tanya Sachdeva, and with me I have my co-founder Nuhami Waldemariam, and we are Moya, preserving culture through food. As first and second generation immigrants, we've personally experienced concern around losing touch with our cultures and believe we might be able to solve this problem through food. Digging deeper into the problem space, through surveying, we heard the following. I like cooking, but it takes too long. Figuring out what to cook, grocery shopping, prepping, cleaning up, it all just takes forever. I want to learn recipes from my culture, but they're hard and I'm far from my family who could teach me. Even with their instruction, I can't get it just right. I want to cook food for my culture, but I can't find the right recipes or the right ingredients. My roommate and I used to use Blue Apron, but the food was bland. I ended up adding berbere and mitmita to everything. I like mixing my spices and American food. So to address these problems, I'm going to hand it over to Nuhami to go over our solution.
Our solution is a bridge to sustaining our users' culture by reducing the barriers and limitations through a subscription-based service with fresh, authentic ingredients and culturally significant recipes. We're going to be providing tools. These are the authentic and difficult to find ingredients. We're providing knowledge. This is the culturally significant dishes and traditional recipes. We're also providing convenience where customers won't have to worry about every step of the process. We've done some testing to identify areas where we can pre-cook and flash freeze to further streamline the cooking process.
So to explore this opportunity further, we did some more surveying. And what we found is that 56% of people like to eat the food of their culture, but only 30% end up cooking it. 70% of people are looking to learn family recipes. And out of that, 62% of folks are from Asian, African, and South American descent, and around 70% women. Of those who have used meal kit subscriptions before, 64% would use one again. So given these results and the rest of our data, what we found is that our target market should be 25 to 45-year-olds, first and second generation immigrants, working professionals, likely on the more affluent side, and likely female. Doing a bit of back of the envelope math to size up the opportunity, what we found is that 13% of the US population is female, 25 to 45 of age. 26% are first and second generation immigrants. 34% of households have income of $100,000 or more per year. So that gives us around a 3.5 million people of estimated total available market. So from here, let's dig into the product.
Yes, we will be offering a subscription with two types of dish options. The first being traditional dishes with the country's most popular food, beginning with Ethiopian cuisine. The second will be a fusion of dishes using that country's flavors within the food that are commonly already cooked within US households. We plan to build sustainability into the business by introducing other cultural cuisines over time. Examples would be Indian, Nigerian, Ecuadorian, and more. Our cost estimate is $6 to $8 per serving, depending on the complexity of the dish. So we aim to price at $15 per serving with a 3 servings per package minimum. We're currently building our MVP and intend to test within the next month. We're going to be iterating based on feedback and building relationships with necessary vendors with whom we've kicked off conversations with. And within the next 6 months, we'll be launching local within the Bay Area. Although we have competitors, who do provide the meal kit delivery services or culturally significant meal offerings, our differentiators are authentic traditional recipes and fusion opportunities with spices and condiments to up-level everyday meals most people are already cooking. We're also going to be providing these ingredients that are sourced directly from the country and targeting to streamline the cooking process that generally takes 1 to 2 hours. If our competitors eventually pivot into our space by creating culturally significant dishes, we found that our customers truly value the background and authenticity of the business and the experience of the founders. So as a part of the Moya difference, we'd love to share a little bit about our team, which currently comprises of myself and Tanya. And of course, our recipe writers, which is currently my mother, who's supporting the launch with the Ethiopian recipes. Professionally, I've experience in program management with global experience in learning and development, consulting, diversity and inclusion across various industries. This has also given me deep experience in connecting with people to understand what really drives them and gives them a sense of purpose.
And like I mentioned before, my name is Tanya Sachdeva. I'm a product manager with previous experience in digital marketing. I have expertise towards driving solutions and highly experienced in collaborating across continents. My day-to-day includes connecting with people to understand their problems and collaborating with them to come up with a solution.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Numahi. Go to questions.
Sure.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great, thanks for the pitch. So your insight is basically that the current meal kit solutions like Blue Apron, none of them offer sort of interesting food that is not American. Is that right?
Yes.
That is
so
correct.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tanya.
I was just going to say that's correct. Currently, they're trying to apply to the masses. So their meal kits are more about your day-to-day meals like tacos or chicken that you can make easily on the stove. They're not thinking about specific ethnicities and getting spices directly from countries and, you know, going that authentic route.
During your customer discovery, did you learn anything about the frequency with which people purchase meal kits? Is it something that once you sign up for a subscription, you keep it, or you just use it certain times of the year? What did you learn?
Yeah, so our research tells us that the retention of subscription-based services in general is fairly high. And for meal kits, it tends to be on the higher end as well. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but typically what people are looking for is they're looking for a meal kit to serve their purpose multiple times a week. They want something to give them that takes away the grocery shopping experience, takes away the prepping experience for at least 2 to 3 times a week. And then the rest of the time, a lot of folks are eating out or making really quick meals.
We also learned through customer discovery that a lot of folks have already been users of Blue Apron, HelloFresh. About 100%, I'll just throw that out there, added their own spices. And we thought that was so interesting. You would think that the meal kit would have everything that you need.
In your TAM, you identified that there was 3.5 million customers in your addressable market. And I'm wondering if you segment them by the food type, how big would the Ethiopian market be? Just exclusively for the Ethiopian food?
Yeah, so it's definitely on the lower end. Again, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. We did some research into this, and I would say it's probably 10% or so would be Ethiopian, perhaps less. But we really wanted to focus on a culture that, one, we were most available to us. Nuhami is Ethiopian herself, and her mother, who's able to give us the authentic recipes and all. And there truly is a need for these type of niche, I don't know if niche is the right word, but niche ethnicities that aren't as dense, and they don't have as much dense population in the US. So that was our thought process behind going after Ethiopian first.
Yep. We also have a larger portion of a customer base that we could potentially gain that are non-Ethiopian. If you look into the customers who eat Ethiopian food out, they generally tend to be non-Ethiopian as well. Large market. I see a hand, Rhonda. Yep.
So
time's up, Caroline. Sorry. So
okay.
And Hamin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for your time.
Nicholas, whenever you're ready.
I think you might be on mute.
Okay, this is Peak Futures, an adaptive booking and revenue management platform. So I'd like to start with a bit of history. We've all heard of American Airlines, they're the largest airline in the world. The way they got there is through dynamic pricing. They were the first to implement this after deregulation, which allowed them to handle the highly variable demand that the airline industry faces. Now, a lot of other businesses face variable demand as well. The problem with variable demand is that when demand exceeds capacity, you lose business, you lose revenue. So to try to make up for that, you could just increase your capacity. But the problem with that is you're also going to increase your wasted costs in the off-peak. So you may end up being worse off. A better solution, and what business owners would love to do, is have a nice steady stream of customers by flattening the curve. And you can do this by having some sort of scheduling where you have customers book, or through dynamic pricing, which incentivizes customers into the off-peak. Right now, the market has a lot of different services out there. There are booking services for like hotels, which are sometimes integrated with revenue management services. And then there's also queue management, which does time of day, not just dates. So very few have been able to integrate all three unless they're a big business like airlines that can build this type of software in-house. What I like to do is take the power of that integrated platform and make it applicable to small and medium-sized businesses. I think a great market to try to enter would be what I'm calling premium athletics. These are businesses that have finite capacity and a really spiky demand. So I think these are things like golf courses, ski resorts, gyms, athletic clubs, but it's not limited to this. This could go into anything from museums to parking lots to restaurants, but this is just a good market to enter into. In terms of how it'll look, I think I would like to have a lightweight customer-facing module that fits on the business's website, where users can pick a time and a price that fits them. This then feeds into the business-facing side, where the business owner can track their performance. They can also, more importantly, refine the model. So it's not just some black box that they send off to some consultant and sends back to them what they should do. They can say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with that discount. Now, beyond aesthetics, I wanted to test this, and I'm a transportation engineer, so I did a simulation model for a toll bridge. But more importantly, bridges are also continuous, unlike airlines, which have a discrete number of airplanes or a discrete number of seats. The bridge has any continuous number going through it. So this is a real test case. What I found is I not only increased traffic flow, but also increased revenue, which is a great result all around. I have a white paper of this available if anyone's interested. Now, this dual-facing approach for businesses and customers allows us to capture two different revenue streams, so that you can have a subscription fee for the businesses, but also a customer transaction fee, which I think is probably a better approach, because you can track in the businesses with a small subscription fee, but make up the money with the transaction fee. So the team so far is just me. I'm a postdoc at UC Berkeley. I specialize in transportation economics. Human factors, discrete choice modeling, and optimization. I want to take these and apply them from transportation into the industry world. So I am basically looking for resources to build the team that can build it into a product and sell it, and then take the steps to protect it. And I'll open to questions now.
Thank you,
Nick. Who would be your first hire?
First hire?
Yeah, who would be the first person? What would be the makeup of the person that you would bring to the table?
I guess I could see two ways of doing this. I could either just hire someone to do the job, or I can hire someone to be an integral part of the team, to be a founder. So a founder would be great because there'd be long-term investment in that kind of person. And I would love to have someone that can do both the engineering, but also the design, because one of the feedback I got from the business owners was that some of the software packages out there are, look, and I quote, from the 1970s, and we're really not user-friendly. So I'd love to have something that has some sort of user interface, user experience component to it.
Thanks.
How long have you been working on this? And has it been just you?
It is just me. I've had this idea for a while, and I've been kind of tinkering with it, and I've worked on it for academic purposes, and it's that white paper. But I know how to program, but I'm not necessarily a software engineer. So it would work, but it wouldn't be pretty. I'd love to bring someone with better specialties.
Okay.
How are you thinking about which use cases to target first? It seems like this works best if it's a highly dynamic system in which the kind of I suppose the insights that you derive through your system or your solution aren't going to be replicated like every week. So if you tell a golf club you should price it like this week, maybe it carries over to the next week also, and they don't need your system anymore. So I'm just wondering how you go about picking a problem that really needs this insight every single week, so they really value your solution.
I think for one, it would be like dynamic versus variable. Variable being you set some price and it stays at that varying price, or dynamic meaning each time someone books, it changes to adjust, and this could be based on some smart algorithms that building off historical data. Golf courses is it's an interesting example because they have these like discrete tee times that people work in. But the other thing is humans are volatile. So you might have some model that worked great last week and it might not work next week. And what we've seen in this pandemic has really changed things all around. One of the golf club owners that I talked to said that they had trouble with discounts because whenever they gave discounts, they would get flooded with people just bargain hunting just to go for the sake of getting the discount.
Thank you, Nick, for your time. So Julian, you're up next.
Okay, share my screen. All right, everyone can see my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Great, great. All right, hey everyone, I'm Julian. I'm thrilled to tell you about Shop for Docs. So I used to be a healthcare consultant, and 2 years ago I had to go pick a doctor. And you'd think I would know how to pick my own doctor. Well, I ended up with this cardiologist that charged me $1,000 for 30 minutes of physician time, all because I didn't bother to check if they were in network or out of network. So that's where the idea for Shop for Docs came from. We're a physician marketplace where you can predict your bill upfront. So we talked to patients in interviews, and let's call one of our patients Sarah. So Sarah's frustrated by the cost of her healthcare. And like the majority of people that we talk to, she wants to be able to compare doctors based off cost and quality. And so that's what we let her do. She can search on our website for physician visits and then compare doctors based on their prices and their quality and their reviews. Now, Sarah's also infuriated by that same surprise bill issue that I was experiencing. And so we help her anticipate what her bill will look like. And we're working on analytics that predicts your testing bill based off your symptoms. And then finally, she books her appointment, and then she's assessed a deposit 24 hours prior to her visit. That brings us to the physician side. So private practice physicians, their #1 goal after saving lives is frankly to get paid. But the majority of patients are not paying their bills, right? The majority of bills are not being fully collected on. So when that patient gets to the end of that flow and books their appointment with that deposit, that solves the collection nightmare for physicians. And of course, we also provide volume for them as well. So in exchange for that value, we're charging patients a 5% payment fee and physicians a $15 referral fee. Great. So I'm going to show you a quick sneak peek of our prototype, which is available on our website, shopfordocs.com. It's very early stage, right? So there's no designs, but it's just a proof of concept. So you can search for a cardiologist here, and then compare doctors based off of their ratings and based off their prices and how far away they are. And then skip forward toward when you actually book your visit. There's that testing bill that comes up, the consultation bill. This allows you to predict, how much is your visit going to be based off the symptoms you're experiencing. So we walked 12 completely random people from Craigslist through this, and they clicked through, and their eyes lit up when they saw price tags on doctors. I'll ask you if you've ever seen a price tag on a doctor, it's pretty rare. So really that's where the value is coming from for them. And so 12 out of 12 of the people that tested this signed up. They gave us their emails to be contacted when we launch. So this demonstrates that this could be an actual viable product. So then the next question is, why do we think we can be a successful business? So we're going to get into this, but we differentiate against our competition. We've got this large market, and we're very scalable. And of course, the fourth and best reason is our team. So Monica and David are both on the call. Monica is a pediatric cardiologist, and she used to head operations at a children's hospital. David Muncie has helped start 2 companies before. We're also bringing on a data scientist in January. But going back to this competition, we're directly competing with price marketplaces. That's our primary competitor. And what they're trying to do is show prices and quality of doctors. But again, you and me, we haven't really had the opportunity to actually use them. And the reason for that is they've really had trouble getting traction with physicians. They have poor physician networks. They have other limitations as well. But that leaves this gap in the market. There's also Castlight, but they're only available to employees. So for the average person, we differentiate by being able to do the price marketplace the correct way, which we believe we can do because we offer that collections value for physicians. We're also differentiating through the analytics that predicts your bill. And then, we're going after this very large market. There's $234 billion in private practice office visit fees. And when you put our fee potential on top of that, that's a $24 billion market opportunity for us. And we're targeting in Texas.
Thank you, Julian, for your time. Time for questions.
So how are you getting access to the insurance rules? If they're in network, if they're out of network, what's the deductible, if the deductible has been filled or not? How are you getting access to that and coordinating to your physician base?
Absolutely. So physicians themselves have these spreadsheets of their negotiated rates with every single payer out there. So we're consolidating that from the physicians. And that gives us the rates to put onto our platform. Then the other piece of the puzzle is verifying insurance, each patient's insurance with the insurance companies. And when you do that eligibility check, which any third party can do, that allows us to say, okay, what portion of this bill is what you're actually going to pay, right? Because we're targeting people who have high deductibles, who have insurance, right? So we need to be able to show what portion of the bill they're actually paying.
What's your team's connection to Berkeley? I didn't see it on the team slide. And what's your product roadmap over the next 2 years?
Yep. So Monica Brock is an MBA MPH, just like myself. And then David Muncie also is part of Berkeley Haas. And then our product roadmap. So we're starting off just by consolidating publicly available data in an MVP. We're hoping that's going to drive web traffic onto our site. So we'll start having some patients on our website. And then we'll test out some physician pilots, just demonstrate that we can bring them volume. Then we'd be seeking funding in order to be able to build out the development and to acquire our first 50 real physicians. So patients first, and then go after physicians.
So I heard you say that your insight is that the existing competitive platforms don't incentivize the physicians to get on the platform, and that your idea is to provide that physician's referral fee, and you think that's going to attract the physicians to the platform. Did I get that right?
Yeah, well, the referral fee is what the physician has to pay, but the real value add to physicians is improving their collections, which is because we take a deposit from the patients. The other value add for physicians is that we're providing volume for them.
And do your other competitors not do that?
So there's one competitor that does that, which is MD Save. They take a deposit up front, but what they do is they charge your credit card right then and there for that visit. Whereas what we're doing is the reason why people would actually, here, I'm going to bring back this slide. The reason why people would actually pay a deposit through our tool is that when you get to the end of the booking stage, in order to unlock, down the line after the patient sees the physician, they're going to need some sort of procedure, right? And so paying the deposit allows them to unlock the ability to navigate our site for procedure rates, so they can save money in the future.
Okay, and you've talked to users. Have you talked to physicians as well?
Yeah, we've interviewed 30 patients, and then we've also interviewed a dozen physicians.
Okay.
Which is how we got some of this data.
Okay.
And are you also going for like a radiology clinics? Is it just physicians or all sort of specialties?
So we're targeting specialties and primary care where you have office visits, right?
The procedures as well, like imaging diagnostics as well.
Yeah, so testing is a big part of it too. So a big value add is being able to search for just, once you need to go get testing, where's the cheapest place for me to get testing? So that's something else that we would include in the tool as well.
Thank you, Julian, for your time.
Yep. Thank you.
So Lucas, you're up next.
Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, hope it's working. All right, so let's start. I'm Lucas, CEO and founder of Empath Analytic. Oops. A few months ago, the social distancing hit me, and I started to feel alone. I realized a Zoom catch-up with friends is hard to schedule, and that it is shorter than it needed to reach into deep conversation. And then it tickled me. What if there is an easier way to receive value? I want to develop an organic way for people to receive support and love when they need most. Empath Analytic is an innovative hybrid app that helps you understand triggers of mental wellness and that facilitates your access to social support at the right moment. We will pair symptom tracking from self-assessment tools to voice and image analytics with behavioral data captured from the smartphone, such as the number of exchanged messages per week, average sleep time, and average time of walkouts. So when you feel when your symptoms and behaviors reaches a minimum threshold indicating a difficult moment in life, an automatic notification such as is in the screen with a prompt will be sent to your supportive network to step up and to engage in deep discussions. We believe in a proactive approach to better help users. Upon registration, you will provide a list of contacts of your network support to be reached out if needed. A transparent explanation of data usage will be provided for your consent. After this phase, a quick assessments, surveys, and continuous monitoring, continuous remote tracking will capture your symptoms and behaviors, feeding a rating tool that generates a scorecard. The scorecard about your mental wellness status. Individualized insights about your behavior will be generated, providing a self-learning tool that will retrofeed to the cycle. In a scenario in which the scores demonstrate persistent downtrend reaching a minimum threshold, your social support will be activated. Even so, if things do not get better, a coach will be reaching directly to you. We believe there is space to serve benefit intermediaries who are looking to develop mental health prevention programs for the employers. And the competitive landscape in mental health suggests opportunity to innovate by focusing on social support blended with automatic data capture. Most digital wellness companies focuses on intervention programs or relies on patient manuals input. Empath Analytics innovates because it focuses on prevention programs through social support, which has been associated in several scientific studies as the key protective factors against mental disorders such as depression and anxiety, and because it fulfills user needs for low effort maintenance in the wellness app, reducing the subjectivity of self-assessment and building a scalable solution. Revenue will come from the app subscriptions. A free version will have a pay-per-use coaching session at $50, but the premium version will already include coaching as well as automatic data tracking at $2 per member per month with a minimum of 12 months contracts. Finally, research projects will be able to analyze anonymized behavioral data of trial patients at $100 per member per month. We will initially go after benefit intermediaries serving mid-sized employers because on those specific targets, they are charging a higher price compared to large-size employers. After that, we'll target psychiatrists and therapist groups because they provide a direct access to patients and are key stakeholders in research and trials development. Lastly, we aim to expand to serve commercial health insurance with increased focus on mental health, given that this group of population has increased healthcare spending. After pivoting from our initial idea twice, today we have a better sense of the product market fit that we will keep iterating for the next 12 months. By February next year, we aim to build our MVP, and we estimate an investment need between $10,000 to $15,000 for the app development and attraction of psychology expertise. By May, we expect to complete user testing phase by first recruiting and testing 50 users with mental health disorders from UC Berkeley Mental Health Clinic, and by securing third parties of mental health coaches. For the user testing phase, we estimate an investment need between $15,000 to $20,000, and therefore our ask today is for $30,000 to put us ready to the final milestone. That will be developing a proof of concept with a one-size employer from a benefit intermediary company. Our team has a diverse work experience, and I will close this pitch with a quote from a patient with depression from the documentary called Pressure. Sometimes it seems like the sun is setting just too fast, and before you know it, I'm surrounded by black, but I have plenty of friends, and I have the love of my family. That is what pushes me through each day. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Judges?
Lucas, can you flip back to your team slide?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that was my only question.
Yes.
How are you guys different than the other platforms in the market today that are complementing APs, like the coaching, CBT? How are you guys different from them? Other than the, I think you have a automated diagnosis, but other than that, are you the same? Or?
Great question. I think that the key part is about like having an intervention focus against that. Empathy only will actually focus on the prevention side, and the EAP today they're more focused on the intervention. So they have like 6 to 8 sessions for those who are in need of mental health. But after that, they don't provide any kind of support for those patients. So the idea is that empathy analytic will serve not in the prevention side and could also like be a secondary service provider for those who already like have been through some kind of therapy, but they need to keep up their social support to kind of be protecting again about having a downside on depression again.
And the percent of the data is a deeper anxiety, deeper depression, or is it more mild? What's the persona here in terms of the severity of the behavioral issue?
So this is we think that we can have a more broad landscape, because like the depressive disorders, like the social support protective factor, it can be for the general population. So it could be the mild as well as the severe depression. But because we know that we need to kind of test and bring more data about that, our first 50 users that we want to recruit and trial will be with a focus on the severe depressed patients.
In terms of the data that you're collecting, so you're using patient smartphones, you're seeing like time that they're spending on the phone, which apps they're using maybe, and different who they're messaging through, whether it's iMessage or potentially you could see if they're sending Instagram messages, so they're kind of social connections. But do you have data that kind of shows ties that if I stop talking to less than 5 people in a week, that correlates to actual clinical depression?
Yeah. So what I did a kind of a research with the papers, and depression is a very complex disorder because there is no scientific consensus regarding how much sleep time really affects into depression and so forth. So there are some of the some of the ideas about like what could be about like potential factors that is associated with depression, but the only one that has been extensively studied and confirmed with a protective association has been social support. So social support could be like about like the family, but also the friends. So that has been the main scientific research that we have so far. But the idea is that we will leverage the social support while we have this automatic data capture so that we can kind of make the comparison and start focusing on the research development so that we could also help researchers to understand and identify new types of exposures that is affecting depression.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Nick, you're next.
Awesome, sounds good. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Thanks. So hi, my name is Nick. My business partner is Yoda, and our company is Levitrek, and we aim to bring industrial automation to the future. Next slide, please. When you think of an assembly line, what normally comes to mind? Probably some conveyor belt system moving products linearly across a track. Well, these Ford-based systems are outdated, and there's been no significant innovation in assembly lines in the past 100 years. The issue with these assembly lines is that as linear, friction-based systems, they are inherently inefficient. Also, once these systems are installed, it can be very difficult and capital intensive to change them, giving very little flexibility to innovative manufacturers looking to scale and adapt. Another major issue is that these assembly lines, as friction-based systems, have difficulty moving fragile and sensitive products, leading to a variety of quality control issues. These problems combined can lead to revenue losses up to 5.2%, which has huge implications for large-scale operations where even a 0.1% reduction in losses is sought after. Next slide, please. Our solution is a levitating omnidirectional propulsion system based on magnetic induction, which allows for the creation of an assembly network over an assembly line. This assembly network allows for multiple processes to be happening simultaneously, significantly increasing the output potential and efficiency of assembly systems. More importantly, this assembly network is flexible and can be updated simply through a few software commands to adapt to the production facility's needs. Plus, our patented levitation stabilization technology allows manufacturers to produce more fragile parts and preserve the quality of these parts that they are producing, cutting down on damaged product losses. Next slide. The key here is flexibility. This slide depicts how our solution differs from the status quo. On the left, we see a standard assembly line system with two components being produced. Call them components A and B. For this stage of assembly depicted, both components A and B need the same machines for production. With the rigid assembly line and limited production space, the facility on the left needs two sets of machines to get the job done. Utilizing a Levitrek assembly network, however, as depicted on the right, we see that only one set of machines is necessary, as the Levitrek platforms can travel to wherever they are programmed. No longer are manufacturers constrained to the pitfalls of a linear system. Also, an added benefit of this assembly network is that if the operation extends or pivots, the network can easily be reprogrammed as needed to adjust for new production processes. Next slide. Regarding our go-to-market strategy, we understand that our technology is novel and that we need to prove that we can reliably deliver on and exceed expectations. Thus, we will start by creating a larger scale proof of concept that adequately demonstrates the potential of our technology. This will be in partnership with an industrial automation company that is connected to Tier 3 and Tier 2 manufacturers. Thus, we intend to initially produce the Levitrek assembly networks ourselves and then provide them to these industrial automation companies that sell production lines to Tier 3 and Tier 2 manufacturers. This will help us overcome the steep industry barrier of entry, with the ultimate goal being to sell directly to the Tier 3 and Tier 2 manufacturers so we can eventually connect with the Tier 1 manufacturers and sales. Next slide. Our team consists of myself, a Princeton mechanical and aerospace engineer who is a leading expert and patent holder on the novel magnetic field architecture levitation technology. Also, I'm a Master's of Engineering student here at Berkeley. My business partner is Yoda, a former project manager at Toyota Tusho who specializes in smart factory machine sales to Toyota Group companies such as Denso and Toyota Motors, and has accumulated over 4 years of VC experience. Our advisory board includes Greg, the original creator of the MFA technology, who has hardware-based startup expertise, John, a co-professor at Princeton and Berkeley, who is a seasoned business strategist, and Shruti, our Berkeley STEP mentor, who is experienced with hardware-based startup execution. Next slide. Thank you so much for your time. We'll now open up the floor for questions. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Nick. Do you have any more pictures or demos of what actually you've built and what it looks like? We just saw that one still image, right?
Yeah, sure. So if we go to the solution slide here, we can see in the middle that we have a small MVP, which moves products up to 10 pounds in any direction, or omnidirectionally on the 2D plane. And then we also have one on the right, which we built, which is a larger scale MVP that can hold up to 110 pounds and translate this anywhere in a 2D plane, as long as there's a conductive substrate underneath.
Okay, so your solution is essentially just a new way to move the material on the assembly line without having to be stuck with gravity and fixed items, right? That's essentially what this is doing. Okay. What other kind of technical de-risking do you need to do?
That's a great question. Yeah. So I think one of the major things that we need to consider is runtime limitations. So we need to make sure that our products can run for the amount of time they're required to, and accumulate the runtime hours and stay reliably functioning. So this would just be something that we would have to test with time and with enough funds.
Okay. Is the power on board or coming from the substrate?
Yeah, great question. So there's actually multiple ways we can power our devices. We could have onboard power systems, so maybe through like a LiPo battery. We could also have induction charging systems that charge the batteries through the conductive substrate, meaning that they could just run limitlessly. That's something that, referring to what we talked about before, is something we need to test to make sure that it can run for the hours required. Also, there can be a cable system. Think of it like a little line that goes above, kind of like how bumper cars work, with something that touches the wire grid above the hover or above the bumper car. So there's like 3 ways right now that we have tested that work, but it depends on the requirements for the manufacturer, depending on which one we implement.
I might have missed it, but was there a slide on like total cost to implement the Levitrex system, potentially replace an existing assembly line system, how that would compare to a standard assembly line, and then the efficiency gain over time of using Levitrex versus a standard assembly line?
Yeah, so if we go to slide 8, we can see some basic numbers. Now, with regard to efficiency compared to an assembly line, that's a more complicated thing to calculate, but based on preliminary studies that we've done, it's about 4 times more efficient. Now, we definitely need to validate that, as a scientist myself, right? Just to make sure that's valid. But based on our preliminary studies at Princeton, we were able to determine that it's 4 times more efficient. Whether those efficiency gains stay put in the long run, so like over time, is something we would have to determine with more capital and testing. And so to implement one of these systems in a medium scale warehouse, to build the device would probably be around $25K, and then also laying down the conductive substrate would be another additional capital cost of about $20K. So we're looking at about $45K total. Depending on the scale, this does change, but compared to standard conventional assembly lines, this is actually coming in at around the same price or even a little bit lower.
If you think about the TAM, I mean, one, it shouldn't just be US, I would think, but then 2, is it TAM really all factories, or is it new factories? Because you need to get in when someone's building their assembly line, or do you think you could get people to, renovate their existing factory and put in the Levitrex system and take out their existing, conveyor belt based assembly line?
Yeah, so if we go to slide 9, with regard to the TAM, we're looking at, initially we're going to probably target, putting this in place for people that are developing new assembly line, or thinking about putting in a new assembly line. Eventually, we do want to just target the whole assembly line market, and probably try to take 5% of that, right? Obviously, the barrier of entry is a lot easier if you're installing a new system. Just put the system in place, rather than uprooting the existing system, because as mentioned before, they're very difficult to remove and update. But the payoff over time would be very great with our product, considering the fact that we can easily adapt for growing companies.
And also one catch up of this, as a past salesman of the smart factory related stuff, the old factories, they have to use the same factory maybe 20 years or 30 years in case of Toyota Motors. So in that sense, we decided not to go to the old factory first, because they have to, use old, non-flexible, production line for 20 years, 30 years. They're going to spend time. But, that's actually another problem, right? So because of the innovation in the mobility area, so they cannot use the same production line for 20 years. So they like to change the production line as fast as possible. So then maybe we started from the newer assembly line, and then we go to the old one, and then the production line is going to be more flexible.
So simple question about how it works. So when you're working on something, it's got to be fixed. Does your technology enable it to stay still and not float around?
Yeah, so one of the great things about this MFA technology is that it does allow for passive levitation. So it could just levitate in place.
And
thank you so much.
I'm hammering away on it and it's not floating around.
Sorry, Caroline, we are over time. Nick,
So we're happy to take a question after this. So let's talk about it later.
Awesome. Ravi and Nick, you're up next.
Excellent. Can everyone hear me okay? We made it to the last one. Congratulations. Thank you for waiting for us. Okay, I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right. I get a thumbs up, Atticus. Can you see?
Yep, we can see.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey everyone, this is Nick, and at Dial Health, we are on a mission to eliminate phone calls from the healthcare administrative process. Now, I guarantee that you've heard or even have said yourself a comment like this, that the US healthcare system is broken. And at the heart of the issue are complex administrative processes. In fact, administrative waste costs Americans more than healthcare fraud, poor care, and overtreatment combined. And how can this be? Well, it's by flawed design. For example, there's this thing called prior authorizations, and they're cost control measures agreed to between providers and insurers. Effectively, it's how they determine whether approval is needed before care is provided. What winds up happening is insurers scatter prior auth information in various formats across the internet and change requirements without notice. This leaves administrators to spend as much as 40% of their day on the phone with insurer customer service. Let that sink in for a moment. Being on the phone as a part of your day job with customer service for 3 to 4 hours every day. This costs providers labor, it causes claims denials, and it delays patient care. And this is why we're building Dial Health, which is a way for healthcare administrators to track down care critical information in seconds. We take the legwork out of getting standard prior authorization information. This is information that realistically should take less than 5 clicks to obtain. And so we're building a solution that does that. And customers are already taking notice. In fact, we're about to kick off a proof of concept with the largest healthcare provider in Wisconsin. In this proof of concept, we're going to focus on demonstrating ROI for a variety of surgery prior authorizations. And proving out ROI lays the groundwork for our shared savings business model. Simply put, we make money when our providers save money. This is an easier sell, and given the momentum that value-based care has in healthcare, will likely gain popularity as a business model moving forward. We're going to target mid-sized healthcare providers first. Our customer discovery findings suggest that smaller providers aren't ready to adopt this sort of technology, and larger providers won't be willing to take on the risk of partnering with a new to market company like us. Yet, that is. That being said, we have no delusion about the challenging sales cycles that we face. We've been fortunate enough to have several vice presidents of revenue cycle at Stanford Healthcare adopt our cause, and they've helped us get smart on who makes purchasing decisions within the revenue cycle department and how. We believe that we'll win because of our team and because of our approach. My co-founder, Robbie, is a machine learning engineer. Charles, our head of software, has built HIPAA compliant tech, and I sell first to market health tech solutions. As far as focus goes, we're going to focus first on solving prior authorizations without requiring access to patient data. This is important because it's going to help us achieve adoption quicker than our competitors. We will then expand our capabilities to serve the broader $41 billion healthcare revenue cycle market. And a logical question here is, why not just go after the bigger market opportunity? Well, what we found is to scale as a healthcare startup, we need two things. We need traction and an EHR access. And we're betting that one begets the other. So the play here is, if we can become the preferred prior auth determination partner, we have greater odds of securing a master services agreement with our customers, which in many cases is a green light to gain EHR access. This is critical, and it's a critical step needed to expand our capability set. In short, now is prior auth determination, next is prior auth submission, and later is claim submission. Our approach also is what separates us from competition. I touched on earlier on the plug and play differentiator, but also want to call out the importance of our focus. Because we focus on solving a very specific problem, we can justify integrating with long tail plans and building for edge cases that other competitors just simply can't. It's a long road ahead, and this is just the start at Dial Health, where we are helping fix a broken American healthcare system, one unnecessary phone call at a time. Thank you, and I'll open it up for questions.
Is the product itself a standalone software, or is it something that integrates like a plug-in to the EHR?
Yes, this is initially going to be a standalone with aspirations to have it integrate with EHR. And I alluded to sort of the sequencing of that strategy and the rationale behind it a little bit earlier.
And Nick, how are you facilitating the prior authorization process? I didn't understand how you come in here, how you help the providers.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
How are you helping the providers with the prior authorization? What are you specifically doing that's helping the providers?
Yeah, absolutely. Ravi, I'm gonna put the dirty prototype on right now, and you can walk through what.
I can sort of explain essentially how that user story would work. So let's say a patient needs to get bypass surgery. And so essentially what it would work like in a mid-sized provider would be that a doctor would hand this work off to typically a nurse practitioner, since they don't have a dedicated department to interface with insurance. First of all, the nurse practitioners are, they have a price point of about 100 in the six figures usually, and this can oftentimes be a full-time job for them, where they have to first, look at a payer portal or insurance payer document that might outline exactly, what exactly will be covered by this particular plan, right? So what we are trying to do is cut that out, that whole process of that complicated process of trying to interpret the payer rules by centralizing a lot of that information and making it easy to query by these clinicians. So ultimately saving them a lot of time and a lot of stress with the rather time-consuming prior auth process.
And Jose, just more directly put, on average, prior authorization specialists are spending about 11 minutes per prior authorization determination. And we think that we can cut that down to 2 minutes. Stanford Healthcare or Health Center, for example, has about 200 FTEs that are specifically dedicated toward prior authorizations. And so the pain that that they're feeling is real, and the value is real as well.
Got it. So you're helping them connect the dots and saving time for whoever's working through the prior authorization, right?
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Which specialties have the biggest pain points? Is it ortho, cardiologist, and will you factor that in as part of your go-to-market?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're seeing is that surgeries with a specific focus on like hand surgeries as well as spine as well tend to be the most challenging ones. And as we mentioned in our proof of concept, the focus will be on those most challenging ones, because the reality of the situation is if we can't solve those edge cases, then the tool itself isn't as valuable as what it really should be. So that's the thought process behind why we're focusing on that.
It's historically insanely difficult to get anything going with these healthcare systems integrations, because there's just so much inertia. What's going to get you in there? What's happening in healthcare technologically or culturally that will get this adopted?
Yeah, certainly. I think that you can look to actually the VC landscape to see kind of a lot of where like dollars are going. So in our competitor 2x2, we shared just a few, and there's one that I want to pick out in particular, Virata Health, which recently got acquired by Olive Health for about $120 million. They focused on prior authorizations as well. And I think the insight that they capitalized on was an increased appetite for solving this problem and using technology to solve it. That being said, I mean, that's a totally fair point that there's these institutions are slow to adopt technology. And the approach that we're taking uniquely is focusing on return on investment and being able to demonstrate those time and ultimately cost savings in our proof of concept, and being able to layer that into our sales process to help them, believe.
Got it.
Do any of the existing EHR platforms or any software that's already being sold to the market and is deployed, do they have modules that do this? And if they don't, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Simply put, there are, and I'll point to Availity as I think the most ubiquitous player that does provide this, but it's a free solution, and it is more of effectively lip service to the issue itself. And so it's not solving the specific problem, and it doesn't address the edge cases that tend to drive most of the issue. And then to the second part of your question around why aren't they going after this, it's a hard problem to tackle, and it's also outside of EHR's core competence. So it's better to have a checklist module as part of their overall product portfolio than it is to live and die by it.
Thank you very much, Nick and Ravi. Time's up. Franche, if you want to take the lead.
Yeah, Santi, thank you so much. It's incredible that we are perfectly on time, actually. So this is a great job of Santi taking the right time and everything, keeping the pace. So I will share my screen just really fast. So this one, I want to thank you, everybody. Everybody that presented tonight. I think it's amazing what you did, the step you did during this program. I want to thank you also, all the startups that were not able to make it to the end, because this is part of the process. But I think StEP was an important. I hope that StEP was an important step in your learning journey, actually, towards building something that can be viable. StEP in itself, like in the meantime now, like Santi what is going to happen? Like Santi is basically, managing and bringing all the judges in a breakout room. judges will take their time in order to decide on who are going to be the winners. So before that, climax, before that important moment of the night, actually, the moment everybody is waiting for, I think it's important to mention two important things. STEP has been a student-run program since the very early days. Since the first day we launched it, it was in the spring of 2019. So this was the fourth edition of the program. It has been 2 years. Amazing experience for all the people that have been here since the beginning. But STEP is a startup in itself. As all the startups, I think there is a team. There is a team that work at this. There is a team that work at this over the past 2 years, and should be thanked for that. So first of all, I wanna thank you, all the people that make this possible this year, the leadership team that make this fourth edition possible. Like beyond like Santi and me and Santi Freira, I think it's important to mention how Arushi, Enrique, and Elisa gave us a big help and an incredible contribution to make this happen. And so I want to thank you them from the bottom of my heart of all the support they have done to us. Another important step that I want to touch is thank all the amazing mentors that we have had. So I think we have done an incredible job last semester building something that can be a support of all the startups that go through STEP. Cindy, Andre, Kazi were there last year, and they have been able also to help this year a transition towards building a stronger mentors team that has been really, really supportive to all our startups and has been really important for us. So thank you all of you for the time that you have provided to STEP, because it's really important. And last but not least, I want to say thank you also to all the guest speakers that we have had over this edition and over all the past editions. I think it is incredible that people, highly reputable people, have invested their time for us, have supported us since the very beginning. There are so many to mention. I just want to say people that were with us since the really beginning, like Brett, that is in this call. I want to thank you him a lot for bringing a lot of coaches to help you prepare for this pitching night. Thank you very much. Thank you, Darren Cook. Thank you, Errol. Thank you, all the speakers that we have had in this edition, the previous edition, because nothing would have happened without you. And also all the startups, again, that didn't make it to the Finance Showcase Day. I think you were an integral part of the experience. And I hope that even if you didn't make it at the end, STEP was, a great opportunity for you to explore entrepreneurship, and that you will continue building something after STEP, because this is one of the key mission of the program itself, giving people the opportunity to access entrepreneurship, explore entrepreneurship, and be ready to launch successful ventures. So this is it. Like for my thank you part, I think now it's just time to wait for the result. So stay tuned. The winners will be announced soon. Thank you. It's a tough decision, guys. Let's be patient.
Hi everyone. So we are just 1 minute away to present the top 3 startups of the night. But first, before we go there, I just want to thank everybody, and I want to really congratulate all the 10 startups that made it to the showcase day. You made a fantastic job. I could really see the improvement in these past 10 weeks that since the program started. I also want to congratulate all the startups that were within the program, the STEP program, and did not make it to the showcase day. In spite of that, you did an amazing job. I was super happy to meet you all. So Enrique, go ahead and announce the winners.
All right, let me see if I can share my screen here. One second.
Typically, we have technical problems, right?
No, just 1 second here, guys.
Okay, we can wait 1 second.
we can hold. We can start talking. Francesco, me, we can start talking in front of
everyone. Exactly. Let's fix whatever we have to fix.
Yeah, this is always the same technique of like creating tension and right, create the suspense just before the winners are announced. It's honestly, Enrique, is not fair, dude. I mean, we got 10 teams that are just super anxious and waiting for the results.
Yeah, we need some we should have put some music, Santi. Actually, we have some suggestion here in the chat. We should have done that. We are not good enough with Zoom. Actually, we need to. we need to.
Well, it's it's iteration. I mean, the first one, remember, we made way more mistakes. We're getting better.
By far.
One edition at a time.
Yeah, of course.
All right, guys. I just don't want to do a mistake here to. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yeah, we can see it.
Just to make sure, which screen are you seeing now?
We're seeing just your desktop.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, and here we go. So we were announced the decision from the VCs, and the third place goes to. Sorry, can you see my?
Yeah, we're seeing. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Dial Health. Congratulations.
Third place is for Dial Health. The second place goes to Volunteer AI. And the winner of the night goes to Shop for Dogs.
Good. Yeah, you can.
Ooh, congrats.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Yeah, guys. I want to see some hands clapping here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. That is the best news we could have asked for.
And actually, we have.
I'm speechless. Just so excited about this. But just to say a quick word, I want to just thank David and Monica, who really have been so involved in the whole process. And I know you guys saw a lot of me, but they are really the team. So I just want to thank them, and also thank StEP, of course, for the amazing opportunity. And I joined UC Berkeley knowing that I was going to go through StEP, and that was going to be the like beginning of the entrepreneurship process. So that really and here we go. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Right. And
so
we
much.
have two more announcements here. So on top of the 3 startups, we are putting an honorable mention to LeviTrack because it was almost a tie on votes. And on top of that, we also received 129 votes from the audience. And we have on third place, Volunteer AI as well, and for the audience vote. On the second place, Facts. And on third, on winning the gold medal on the first place, Moya.
Congrats. All right, lads. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope all the audience have an amazing time as we did. And well, we're going to keep in touch. StEP is a community that keeps on growing. And your entrepreneurship journey just started right now. You're all more than encouraged to apply to StEP. You're all more than encouraged to keep on to apply to Skydeck. Sorry, you're almost more than encouraged to keep in touch within the StEP community, and we're super happy to keep you helping and keep you growing. So have a really good evening.
Thanks, everybody. Ciao.
Ciao, Caroline.